Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to episode, I don't know what it is, of the Gacha Mates podcast. Yeah, we are back. I feel like we were just over a week. We are getting a little bit better. We don't have a guest because, once again, it's just been busy times. And Smack's just horrible at organizing shit. But I took the whole weekend off. We had a long weekend here. I pre-recorded some videos for my other channels for the weekend, so I had some content to upload, and I just completely disconnected for Saturday, Sunday, and did bare minimum yesterday because, once again, it was a public holiday weekend, so we had the Monday off. And holy shit, when I turned on my when I got back online after the little break, everything was burning down.
World War III, bro.
It was just like, I was like, wow, is it, does this normally happen every 2 days, or is it just or am I just hyper aware? But it was crazy, but holy shit. How insane
would that be that we're so brain rotted from content creation that we don't realize it's like that? It's chaos every day, but you don't realize it until you just step away.
Dude, it was crazy. So we got plenty of topics to cover today. We're gonna go into Wuthering Waves, like just updated thoughts on that. Talk about the Zenless and Wuthering Waves chess match that's going on with the releases and stuff like that. Honkai Star Rail dev livestream, which, full clarity, I started my weekend on Friday night my time, which is when the live stream is. So I haven't even seen the live stream yet. But obviously, I've known about a lot of stuff for a long time already. So yeah, I'm quite across it.
I'll be filling him in on any of the juicy stuff he may have forgot to.
Yep. And then we're going to go into the whole Atsu stuff, and then go into Smack with his editor as well. Just quickly, in editing, this one is only going to cover the gaming topics because we realized we spent over an hour on them, and then it was just getting too long to get into the other stuff. So that will be in the next episode, because I just came on and I was like, everyone's got shit going on. I'm like, dude, I'm just going to leave and go back to my non-existence online. It was so much better.
And I will say, guys, you got to think about how hilarious that is. Volk left for just a getaway to disconnect from work, had a great time, and then came back to editor drama, Atsu drama, all kinds of mayhem going on, bro.
It's so funny. It was just like, I was saying to Spack beforehand, I'm just like, dude, it'd be amazing just to not do this stuff, not have to deal with anything and just be completely detached. But once again, I mean, it's that funny thing with content creation is it's got too many positives that outweigh the negatives at the end of the day. But holy shit, I'm going to try, and this is something I'm going to actively try and do. Obviously I have a bunch of channels, so I have I have different avenues for content, but I'm now, from now on, I'm going to try and prepare stuff through the week to have weekend uploads so I can take every weekend off. It is just so much better than having to do stuff. And then if there's a bit of news, I can cover it. But dude, weekends off, because I remember when I used to work full time, I would that feeling on Friday when you were going into work and it's dude, it's the weekend. Sometimes I'd work Saturday, but then you get that feeling on Saturday and it's the weekend feeling. I haven't had that for 4 years, since I started full-time content creation. And I was wow, this is amazing.
And I feel like I want you, if you can, I want you to explain what you did on that getaway that made you feel so freeing. I personally, before you can get into it, I just feel like it's just what you said. It's the ability to just completely forget about responsibilities, which is something you never do when we're in this space. It's 24/7. What video am I going to make next? What's the next topic of discussion? Yep. What's relevant? What's not relevant? But when you go away and you just register that we're not working anymore, especially on a trip that you did, you went out into the wilderness and said, fuck the technology.
I didn't actually go away and take it. It was just that it was a long weekend. We were going to go to the lake, but the missus and daughter haven't been 100%. So we decided to stay home. But I was by the same token, I'm I'm not working this weekend.
Anything.
So we just did a ton of stuff. The Friday night, I took my son to the local basketball. It's sort of the second highest league in Australia. And one of the girls that lives in my court plays in it, and so he knows someone, so he has that connection, and so we go there, and it's lights. It's a full show. So I took him there for the basketball on the Friday night, and then just chilled. And then on the Saturday, we went to Time Zone, which is the arcade. We went to the Oval, played some footy. My son's mad about basketball at the moment, so I reckon I played probably 8 to 12 hours of basketball over the weekend with him, just in the front yard. And yeah, like
you know, sore as fuck. You felt like an old man.
Yeah, did movies with the kids and stuff because they love sitting down having a movie and some popcorn, and yeah, like it was just family shit. Man. Yeah. And
you had that. You probably had that idea. Yeah, I was about to say you probably had that idea in the middle of it where you were just like, "Holy shit, man! I need to do this more often." Yep. What the hell?
Yeah, it was fantastic.
I've had that feeling, man. I wanted to say, me and Crystal did I called it a stay away. It was not called a stay away, but I thought that's what she said. It's like when you get away, but you stay in town.
Yeah.
The power went out, and we went to stay at a hotel because I was like, I cannot be fucked staying in this house with no AC, bro. I'm sorry, I've done this before. It's horrible. So
you know what's crazy? You know what's crazy about that? Just to interrupt, like when I grew up, we never had aircon. Like,
oh my god!
And like Australia's summers get hot.
Yeah.
And we never had aircon. And I just remember having like spray bottles of water and just having your fan on and spraying yourself in the middle of the night. We had a 2-story house with the bedrooms upstairs, which the upstairs, the heat rises. So it was like, and like now I'm like, dude, how the fuck does anyone live without aircon? Holy shit.
See, this is what's funny. Growing up, we had AC, but my dad's black ass was all about penny pinching. And he would say, don't turn that AC down below 82 degrees, son. So it pretty much was like we didn't have AC.
Yeah.
No, seriously, it was always hot. I would have these conversations with my dad, and he would be like, "Son, it's not hot. It's all in your mind. You moving around the house too much." I'm like, "Dad, do you hear yourself? What do you mean I'm moving around the house too much? It's too hot, bro."
Dude, I got to bring up my one on that. My dad, like the heater never went on. If you were cold, he's like, hey, put a jumper on, put some pants on. I'm still cold. Put a blanket on and sit on the couch. It's like, like, come on, Dad, it's fucking freezing. And then as soon as he left the house, Mum would be putting the heater straight on. And then it's just like shit like that. I feel like everyone's childhood was like that. Yeah, it's funny.
Yeah, they fucking all about saving that money, bro. It's hilarious. But going back to it, man, I think it's important. Moral of the story, guys. I wanted Volkin to open up with that just to reinforce to you guys' mind. It's important to go back with the roots. Go back with the loved ones. Take a disconnect from work, man. It's a great mental health rejuvenation, and it does the body and the mind good. That's all I wanted to say. Thank you for sharing that, Volk.
No, that's good, man. Do you want to kick into Wuthering Waves? What's your general? How you feeling about Wuthering Waves at the moment?
Okay, so like obviously I've done all the full blown content, the upfront grind, which was an amazing experience. It's that experience that you and I always talk about, Volk, where you feel like it's the best game on planet Earth. Nothing will ever match it. Nothing will ever surpass it. And then the honeymoon phase ends, and you run into what do I have left to do now? Except in Wuthering Waves, it's a little bit more than the average gacha game. Now you can go out and do the Pokemon experience, which admittedly, it does get a bit stale after a while. Me, unlike the average audience or the viewer watching, I have the blessing of a community where I get to at least have good conversations while I'm doing it, which enhances that. But if you're somebody who's playing the game by yourself, you're probably already like, fuck this. I thankfully have people to talk to. That is the only real thing that I'm doing right now. I'm not doing the holograms because I haven't scaled to a level where I can clear all of them. I'm just like, it's just fucking HP scaling, and I can't do anything about that. So I've just ran into this moment of do my stamina and then now go catch hollows and pray I get a good piece, which I think Volk is going to give his perspective on that. He's not fucking liking it, I think. Go ahead, explain it.
No, so I think the game like had a really interesting like 3-tiered like launch phase where depending on and this like you gotta remember like we're content creators, like we grind. So like I play and like I don't stream. Like I couldn't get myself into streaming. I was just playing it whilst chatting with the boys from Pridewind and stuff like that. I was just like, yeah, that's just where I'm at.
You also have your shit Australian connection too.
Yeah, that's like, dude. I had to do a sponsored stream on one of my channels. I could only do it for an hour before my internet like was just giving me too much shit. I was like, I can't even get paid for a sponsorship stream. It's just between everything, streaming is just a headache for me. But yeah, so like we grind hard. Like I was grinding super hard. I re-rolled, so I started like a day late as well. So then I tried to catch up, and
same.
I feel like the first 2 days for me, which may be the first 2 week for some people, is amazing.
Yeah,
when you're exploring everything for the first time, you're getting through everything. I think exploration gets boring once you're above about 80%. It just triggers me trying to find the last remaining shit. Like you feel like you're running around it and achieving nothing. But exploration up to about 80%, I thought was fantastic. And yeah, the game, like it's like any honeymoon phase of a game. Like it feels absolutely fantastic. Then I got to the phase of, okay, I've done all the story, done all the core things, exploration's pretty high. Now I need echoes. Now I'm on the gear grind. And then it felt like real shit because you're spending 4 to 8 hours a day trying to do what you do in about 5 minutes on other games, which some people don't get that reference, but it's like I was spending that time to get a right main stat 3 cost and then roll it and it be shit. so
that's like the worst part.
So you're spending all that time to end up getting nothing essentially. Whereas in other games where you just burn your stamina to get your gear, it's like you spend 5 minutes to get nothing. And that's that was this weird phase. And once again, you don't have to do that. That's because I make content. I was doing that. And that was like a massive pinch point for me where I'm like, this is so tedious.
Did you hear about the 44111 shit too?
Oh yes, that was another thing that happened as well. Yes.
The only reason I brought it up, Volk, is because I just thought about you saying you spent 48 hours trying to get a good main stat on the 3 stat just to get
the thing is, like, I had the right ones that I needed for the characters. I was trying to get good sub stats, which I still don't have a double crit sub piece. It's anyway, that's neither here nor there. But yeah, I feel like the first phase is like the early phase, progressing through, doing early exploration. Amazing. Then I think most people should skip the trying to grind overworld for echoes. I just think that is not just very fun. Yeah, that's like something you do if you're super sweaty. I don't think it's really fun for a lot of people. Like it may be for those that it is fun for, like go nuts. Like it was fun for the first day doing it because I'm like, oh, I'm getting ahead. And then I was just like, oh dude, now this is getting tedious because like,
and that's where they failed with the shinies, man. If they would have added way more shinies, it would have been more purposeful.
Needed a shiny for everything, and then it would have been kind of fun. But but yeah, dude, it's the pain of like hunting the wolves, and every havoc wolf has fusion damage, and every fusion wolf has havoc damage. And it's not just the fact that you're not getting what you want; it's that it's doing that little shit that just triggers you beyond belief. And I'm like, bro, my god,
I'd be molding on that shit too, bro. I'd be like, you gonna give me a fucking electric on a havoc? Oh my god, bro.
Yeah. And that's like the second phase, which I think a lot of people can skip that burnout phase of grinding echoes. I don't think it's needed. Like the whole 44111 or 43311. At the end of the day, if you don't have it, you've got that alternative option that you can go
Efficiency.
with. Or you can just use an offset 3 cost that gives you the right damage, and then eventually you'll get it. Like we've seen from the events, they're giving you the selectors in events. So eventually, you know, most people are going to have 3-4 DPS built. Like it doesn't take that long to go ahead and get that built up. So I think you'll be pretty safe. But we'll talk about the 44111 thing in a minute. That was funny. That's hilarious.
I love to hear your thoughts on that because I was just like, bro, what was the point of this? Bro's making arguments nobody's arguing against.
Yeah, so I'll touch on that. But yeah, then I think the next phase I went into went from the amazing phase to the echo grind phase to the I have no tuners. Now I just log in 5 minutes a day and dip. Because I have nothing to do. There's no point in me farming those. And that's why I said that echo grind phase, that was me trying to get ahead. But it's also put me to the phase where now I'm like, I just got no tuners. So I just log in daily, do my shit, and then log out.
You must have really mid-maxed though, because like, dude, I got 300 tuners like just sitting. I ran out of echo experience before I ran out of tuners. I got 300 fucking tuners.
Yeah, and I saw that a lot earlier, and people are like, no, the problem is the tubes, not the tuners. And I'm like, it depends how you're upgrading. Don't be going to 25. Like, there's you like if you want to min max. Like, I feel like once you start min maxing, and I feel like once we get further into the game, tuners is the bottleneck. Because when you feed an echo that you've leveled up, you get 75% experience, but only 30% tuners. That ratio by itself is going to drive tuners to be the scarce asset. even if it's not there for you yet. But yeah, so I'm in the tuna, and like for me personally, like I know I'm not great at action games. Like I like playing these games to like try and make efficiencies out of what I'm actually doing as opposed to my pure combat. Because I still am a firm believer that in these games, everything's going to be doable anyway. So, you know, even if I'm not the greatest. So I haven't touched holograms aside from what I had to do for missions because I'm just not stressed. I'm like, I'll just wait till I outscale it and then beat it. Like, and this is where it's so interesting. In action games, I'm always big on PvP if it's in the game because that's something that it's kind of like WoW. I used to always play Arena in WoW because it's not like just have your rotation, min-max your rotation and do it on a boss. It's like everything is, you know, in real, like you've got to make decisions in real time in PvP and it's not just a set rotation. And that's what I've always loved about action type games, stemming from WoW, even like Tower of Fantasy. I know a lot of people hate it. Dude, I loved that game had PvP. Like it was so, except for the server issues, the bots and stuff like that.
Optimization too.
I loved that stuff sort of thing. But as for like, and that's where, because I find competing to be rewarding.
Volk's always going to throw in his PvP bit.
Dude, I can't help it. And people, and the problem is, and I'm not asking for PvP in Wuthering Waves. I'm just prefacing my point that I'm going to make on why I'm not doing holograms. But
I don't think there's anything wrong with it, man. I never see the fucking hate for PvP. It's so wild, but like either way, I'm indifferent.
Yeah, but that leads me to that, like holograms. I'm like the rewards aren't that insane that I feel like I have to get them now. So if I'm not feeling rewarded enough to do it, and I know I can just get it later, I'm just gonna wait. Like that's the way I view things. So that's sort of where
you're
we're
wasting time.
But
you're wasting time.
Yeah, I still think the game is really good. Like I said, that honeymoon phase is huge. Don't get burnt out in the echo grind phase because eventually you'll hit the tuna phase, which is where we knew it was going to end up. And now we're just into the coasting period of the game where just play with what you like and have fun and keep cruising.
And I wanted to add on to that though, because like we are like just telling the truth about you're gonna run into the fucking wall. You're gonna feel it. And you're gonna be like, okay, I'm a little tired of catching this goddamn bird over and over. But what I will say is when the game does drop its updates, much like other gacha games do, and you get new echoes with new designs and new abilities, and then you have that fun phase over again where you're the discoverability of the game, the exploration of the game is fresh again. I do want to add that in there. I don't want you guys thinking like we're just dogpiling on Wuthering Waves endgame. It's the same thing in any gacha game, man. You eventually run into that wall. It's a live service game that they do on a 6-week or 4-week or 5-week, whatever the fuck schedule is. And of course, you're going to have those dry periods. It's just 100%. How it works.
And like, you know? I went into this game knowing that this is what it was going to be. Like, I'm going to throw him under the bus. I think M-Tash is still the only one who goes into these games not understanding that this is what it's going to be.
Gamers, this is the best game I've ever played.
Dude.
What you don't know is the echo grind is much different than Honkai Star Rail. 2 weeks later, gamers, we need to talk. I've been trying to find the drive to make content for Wuthering Waves. But I just can't do this anymore, guys.
Dude, I absolutely, like me and M-Tash, we are on a very, very same level with this stuff. And I absolutely, he's been doing his house move and stuff, so he's been busy as fuck as well. But like, he like, and you've got to understand, like, he's getting insane views. I just checked to see what he was up to because like I said, I had the weekend off and I saw he hadn't uploaded a bit and I'm like, I definitely think he's hit that content wall, which unless you're a super sweaty calculating and to me, this is where these games get to. And this is why I like covering smaller games and why I have my other channels, because these games, like I still enjoy Wuthering Waves. I will still cover it, but I don't have daily content for it. Because you run out of content to make when you're people like me and M-Tashed, whereas people like yourself who will commentate on different topics in the community and stuff like that, that is your content flow. Sweaty guide makers have the deep guides that they make once every week to 2 weeks, and that's their content flow. Whereas me and M-Tash are sort of more like news-related, hype-related, fun-related, shit we're enjoying, playthrough, stuff like that. And that is so peak at the launch of a game. 2 weeks in, like there is so much less you can actually do in that sense. And for me personally, I'm not going to speak to M-Tash, but for me personally as well, when it's an action game, And I know I'm not the most skilled action player, and I'm not going to put the time into min-maxing rotations and stuff to be the best, because I just don't really care that much. It also further limits the content that you have to make. And so
absolutely. And that was such a beautiful way to put it, because I'm on the other side of the fence. I look more forward to that than I look forward to everything you just said you and MTAS love to do. I like getting to that end game point and then saying, okay, now how can I perfect this team composition so I can share it with people and be like, this is how this shit works and this is how you can bust people's balls. So I think it is quite a nuanced discussion when it comes to what's bringing that dopamine to the content creator. That's fascinating. I never even thought of that.
So the thing is, I think if I only had to worry about one team, yes. But when you know you've got to worry about 3 teams, then it becomes like it becomes a mission to try and do that. Like if you look at something like Honkai Star Rail turn based, it's like, dude, I can. So this is the thing. You end up in the 5-minute grind phase of the game where you log in 5 minutes a day. But if you're only doing that and you do that for 2 weeks, you lose that efficiency of playing the game well. You do. You lose some efficiencies. So
it just kind of just leaves your brain.
Yeah. Whereas Honkai Star Rail, it's like I can just do my daily login for 2 weeks. New Memory of Chaos. Like I just click the auto button. Away we go. Like,
that's actually true, man. It's like when you jump back into an FPS 2, you've lost a lot of the fucking muscle memory and the ability to like react. You got to like recalibrate your whole system, and that shit is stressful. It's like, god damn, bro. Hell of a humbling. But I get what you're saying.
So yeah, it's just a lot more full on to stay at the level you were in the game, because and that's where I think they've done a good balance, is to where I think we are going to outscale the content. The sweaty play, the people who want to do what you do, like I watch guys like I Went to Lose, I see Fall, but like those guys, like yes, they have spent a lot, but you watch them play, and you're like, they know how to play.
Absolutely.
Like there's no doubt about that. Like Rexland as well. Like yes, like they spend money, but like regardless, I wouldn't be doing this shit. I wouldn't be doing that stuff with their accounts if I just logged onto it. Like it's that simple. Which is mad respect to those. But yeah, once again, I think these games, I know they get to that point where it becomes, for me personally and my content style, is like I just do the daily logins, and then maybe I have like 2-3 videos a week to make, and that's sort of where it gets to for me. And I feel like MTash is in a very similar boat as I am. Whereas during the launch of a game, we have a lot of stuff to talk about, make videos about, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Whereas then then I find that these games, and it's the same with Star Rail. I'm assuming it was similar for Genshin. It'll be the same for Zenless. Then you get like the social commentators that can do that sort of stuff, like yourself, like Tectone, where you guys have a bunch of content still.
Correct.
And then you have the guide makers, and that's like the main groups around these games.
I agree. Damn, that's a hell of a dynamic. I agree.
Yeah.
I don't even think I can add anything on to that.
I was like, I think he's got something.
You rounded it up good. I was just thinking about it. You're right. There's the guide makers. There's the people who kind of just round it all up and just give a commentary on each and every aspect of the game. And then there's the fucking game starters who just cover everything there is to know and then cold turkey, bro.
So in general, like I don't want to spend too much longer on the weather.
You should do reviews. I was just thinking, I agree. I think you should do reviews, though, given that you just explained it that way.
Reviews of what?
Of games. I think you should add that into your content flow, because you're so good at going through it, speeding through a game, learning all the intricacies of the game, and then like finishing it. You can just explain how the beginning is, how the mid phase is, and how the end game is, and what do you overall think.
Yeah, maybe. I feel like they lose their performance. I normally do that on games before they release, if there was like a beta that I sweated heavily in.
Right.
Something like that, because I feel like that's like the prime time for them. But
I feel like that is, and the first week is.
Yeah, first week's huge. And that's where normally games, like I do max refills to try and get to stuff first, so you can do like that. Mm-hmm. This game, I didn't do that. I was like, nah, I did that in Star Rail, and then I just quit that account. I'm like, nah. No, we ain't going to do that. But the next thing to do with... You go, yeah.
No, you're good. I was going to move it on to the next topic. I think you were about to do the same thing.
Yeah. I love... so this is something I love. We're going to talk about 1.1 in Wuthering Waves and the Zenless release. I love watching the the chess game
Companies.
of big companies. Like, and then people get like so they play like a team sport where they're like on a company's team and stuff.
Yeah.
I just enjoy watching the decisions, and like I just it's like, you know, when you watch sport and if your team's playing, you're super passionate about it.
Yeah.
And like you're very one-sided. But if you're watching sport between two teams that you don't follow, you watch the game for the game and appreciate the game for the game without caring who's doing what. That's what this stuff is to me. I just love seeing businesses duke it out with like stuff like this because it's super interesting.
It is interesting. The fact that which by the way, actually you go ahead and explain it because you already knew exactly what they were doing.
The TLDR is that 1.1 was announced. Like we knew when the 1.1 for Wuthering Waves was going to be. Then Zenless announced their release date on that same day. And then they dragged 1.1 release early. Now, I have heard other people with the thought that maybe it was to do with Wuthering Waves needing to appease investors and making more cash and stuff like that. I definitely think it could be a bit of both, but I definitely think the biggest driving was the Zenless release.
Volk, think about the logic of this, though. When you invest, brother, you're investing in the long term of a video game. I don't know how to think about that any other way. There's no way they moved it up because the investors said we need to see your first month. They're thinking, what are you going to look like in the first 6 months? What are you going to look like in the first year? I don't think they say, let's see what you look like in the first 1 month. So move the update up so we can see the first month.
Okay.
It just there's no logic to it.
With the investor logic, my logic for that was, I think Kuro were really hard up for cash. I think they were super strapped like ridiculously before the release of the game. I have no evidence to back that. This is just my personal feelings. Don't take it as fact.
Go for it.
So I think that could have been another way for them to get another financial boost. I know they did really well at the start, but you could argue the fact that it's an additional boost for them to continue to rapid succession of the development of the game, because maybe they were I don't know, maybe they had patch 1 and 1.1 ready, but like not much for 1.2. And you might say, yeah, but bringing it forward stupid, but maybe they thought maybe we can expand the team to do it. I don't know. But once again, I was just saying some people think that. I think the main reason is the Zenless release. Like you can't say it's not like the main factor.
I 100%. I'm sorry. I just think there's a 0% chance of that one. I know you're trying to explain the ideology behind it, but you're backed by fucking Tencent. If you need the funds and they believe in you, they're probably going to give you the funds, bro. So I don't think it's like hurting for cash. Although I see that's
backed by Tencent?
Yeah, I believe so. They're backed by Tencent. We can look that up if you want to. Hell,
I thought they were independent.
Oh fuck! I didn't mean to bring that up. Hold on. Let me see. Kudo Games and Tencent. Meanwhile, while we're talking about this, though, the week getting moved up while Tencent announced that it had taken a stake in Kudo Games. Yeah, held 14.33% of the company share. So they're definitely backed by Tencent. But what I will say, though, is the week before is definitely it. Why on God's green earth would you want to drop your 1.1 patch update at the fucking release of a massive IP like Zenless Zone Zero? And it's only massive because it's Hoyo, not because it's Zenless, because Hoyo's behind it. And
this is an interesting game for me to play. If you were streaming and they launched at the exact same time, what would you be streaming?
Good fucking question. I would absolutely stream. Damn, that's a good ass. You know what? I'll be honest with you. I don't know yet. I'm trying.
100% it's Zenless. Like from a business point of view, I would be doing Zenless 100%.
But
no
I'm
doubt.
based though, Volk. You know that I'm based as fuck. I really am. That's why I said I can't really say it's Zenless. I'm not the type to say, oh, I'm all going on the train. I actually am the type to say, let's do Wuthering Waves for the first 5 hours, and then we'll go into Zenless. Because I'm not worried. I don't care about stream garnered, because the people like Tech, the bigger streamers are going to garner all the fucking attention. I don't even care about that.
In that situation, it's look at what Tech's doing and do the opposite.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to tell you. No, that is me, though. It is me. It's not look at what Tech's doing. It's how many motherfuckers are streaming that launch. That's a lot of people. Well, hell, I'm just going to stream Wuthering Waves, and once they about 8 hours in has gone by, I'll start that. So I actually feel like I really would do Wuthering Waves and go into Zenless Zone Zero. I really do.
It's just like one of those great hypotheticals I love asking people.
It is, but I will say, to admit to you, Volk, you're right. The business decision is to do Zenless Zone Zero, and if you're going to do it, you got to do it early. That's the other problem. When you do a release, you don't fucking do the release 2 hours before it drops. You get up 7 a.m. that morning, and you try to garner as many people as you can.
Dude, that's the weird thing about streaming. Like, fuck that.
I know, Volk. It's not me and your thing. It's not. We're fucking family, man. We can't be fucked with that shit, bro. But that's precisely why I know I do the Wuthering Waves update. And then I'd garner everybody who's a Wuthering Waves fucking cuck, and they'd be like, see, Smack still playing. I was just like chilling, bro. I don't care about that shit. I never do. I'm always like, whatever happens, happens, bro. I'm gonna play what I want to play, and then that's it.
Yeah, I mean, if I had the internet, if I had the internet connection for it, I'd just stream to both my different YouTube channels and have the different games on the different streams and. Can you imagine that? That would be epic.
No, dude, I just had a hell of an idea, bro. You pay 2 people to play the games for you, and you just commentate on both. That'd be genius, bro.
2 action games as well. Jesus, that's hectic.
2 action games. Because you already do the shit for fucking Honkai Star Rail tournaments, bro.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that would be genius, Volk.
Oh, dude. Yeah, I just what's your thoughts on Zenless in general and Wuthering Waves and that whole concept?
Until they prove me wrong, I think Zenless wasn't impressive to me in any capacity other than design, music, and like just the fucking overall aesthetic of the game.
The way they did
gorgeous.
Story, I liked. I liked
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Aesthetic. Yep. Yeah, the comic book shit is fucking great. I love it. I love all of that. But I'm talking about in terms of like the dynamic for me, the gameplay, the screen system and all of that, as much as there was a little bit of ingenuity in there, it just wasn't impressive to me. It didn't blow me away. I was just like, But I only played the first beta. And they said there was a lot of improvements in the second beta. I don't know. For me, from the bird's eye, I was just like, looks like I
had access to the second beta and I just never found the time to actually play it. I heard the TVs got really sped up. I think it was the way it was described to me. I'm not too sure. Someone let me know in the comments if they know. But the TVs was the main issue. I actually now reflecting, now that we've had Wuthering Waves, I definitely think Zenless has a dynamic that is definitely much better,
sustainable
for more casual players. That whole thing we were talking about with Wuthering Waves of like, it is complex. Like it is great combat for those that want to sweat the combat. But the thing with these combat heavy games, and this is just a take that I'm just kind of making up on the spot. So you let me know what you think.
You're always cooking. Well, come on, let's hear it.
So with action games and stuff like that, I think to my childhood, which is when I used to play them, when I had my chipped Xbox, my chipped PlayStation, you play all the action games, you'd get like really good, like you'd play like the Mortal Kombat games, you get really good at it, then you'd finish the game, move on to the next thing.
Correct.
The thing with high skill cap combat games in the gacha space is you then have to hold that skill cap for an infinite amount of time without... Do you know it? And then you've got to choose whether you're practicing it all the time to stay good at that. Whereas the old school action games that I'd play, you'd play them, you get really good, you'd finish them, you'd put it down, you wouldn't worry about it again.
Or now, you just play with your friends.
I know some people with Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, stuff like that. Like you continually play that.
I was one of those guys, by the way.
Like I was the same with like Smash Brothers back in the day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So like there is some of that, but I feel like in a gacha game space, I think the Zenless model of spam left click and everything happens and it looks flashy. I feel like that has good possibility to get larger adoption.
Yeah, I do. I mean, you got to understand who we're dealing with too. We're dealing with the company who knows how to capture a large casual audience.
Yes.
So they're doing things strategically in a way to capture the biggest amount of people quantity wise, not in terms of like the gamer who's going to appreciate the best gameplay design. They're like, what is going to cater to the masses? So I think your way of thinking about it is absolutely right.
Which then leads me to something. I want to ask you the question. What do you think Wuthering Waves' target audience is? And how well do you think they're doing their targeting with that? Like casual, hardcore?
I think they are, and I spoke about this before it released, and I was the only one who had that mentality. I think they are playing monkey in the middle with the hardcore and the casual audience, and I think they're slowly but surely tearing themselves in half. I've tried to say this before. They never should have tried to like go head to head with Genshin Impact. I think that fucked up the identity of their game and the functionality of it. I think they should have, from day one, they should have just tried to cater to the hardcore player because it's a hardcore game at its core, and that's the thing that's going to carry the game. The fucking boss fights and the mechanisms and the getting sweaty and discovering those techs. I think the minute they tried to cater to the casual is the way where their game just kind of went into another feel of Genshin Impact exploration and stuff, while still trying to say, but wait, but we still got some hardcore stuff going on over here too. I don't think that's sustainable. And like I said, if any Souls game did that, what they did, the Souls game would fail. You just have to hope that your refinement of the game and its target audience just brings the casual along anyway by default of good reputation. That's my thought.
I'd say the problem with Souls games is they're not gacha. That's the other thing. But
yeah. But what does that matter though? Is what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to understand that logic, because at the end of the day, in order for you to create something disruptive, you have to take a chance to do something nobody else is doing.
Well, with Souls games, there you like what I was saying. You play them and you're done. You move on and you remember it. And you go that was a great experience. These games have to have service continually ongoing to make money, and that's the big difference in that. But I think the problem is I feel like Punishing Grey Raven was that hardcore game.
Yeah.
And so they've done that, and it didn't pay off. Because Punishing Grey Raven, I think I enjoy Punishing Grey Raven combat. This may be a hot take, more than Wuthering Waves. I think
a lot of people would probably agree with you. Maybe.
However, I had to play Punishing Grey Raven on my phone, because it was a game that was designed for the phone, and it played so well on the phone with the orb system, because I key binding an extra 8 orbs. I just couldn't find a way that my brain would process it on PC well. But yeah, I feel like Wuthering Waves was, Punishing Grey Raven was absolutely amazing. And it was that hardcore experience. That was the game where I got into the process of I was doing the no damage runs with the base character solo. I was having so much fun with that. I don't get that same urge with Wuthering Waves for some reason. And I don't know why that is, but I do think that maybe they went the more hardcore route with PGR and felt like it didn't land. So we need to hit those mass audiences.
It was a completely different release time though, where their marketing for the game didn't exist. The marketing they did on Wuthering Waves was 30 million times more than they did for PGR. I also heard that they had I'm not sure because I didn't play PGR, but I correct me if I'm wrong, guys. I think they had a shit launch with PGR as well.
The CN.
It was a CN launch.
Okay. I think I heard and this was the funny thing when they gave us the free selector, because I think that's exactly what they did on the CN in PGR. They messed stuff up. And then they just gave a 5-star selector. Don't quote me on that either. I remember hearing that.
Shit. Yeah. When we're content creators, you guys know we hear fucking 18 different stories on one subject matter, and it's which one of y'all are telling the truth, bro?
Because I remember in the lead up to it, to global for PGR, because I covered that at launch as well. It was are we going to get the selector? Are we going to get the selector? Because they weren't supposed to get that in CN. Are we still? You know what I mean? And then we ended up getting it. But
I do want to challenge you though. You don't think there eventually will be a actual Souls gacha that will succeed? Because from where I stand, the Souls genre is just fucking badass boss fights, and you beat the game, you move on. There could be a gacha that just says, here's some badass boss fights. All right, see you in 4 weeks. We'll have some more badass boss fights for you.
I think, listen, anything could happen. I think the power dynamic is the problem.
The power dynamic.
So in gacha games,
characters is what you need to focus on more in a Souls gacha. You just need to focus on the design of the character and what their move system is.
No. So this is where I think the problem is, and that's what Wuthering Waves has, is you will eventually overpower the content. And so the challenge goes away because your stats outweigh it.
That's not true, Volk. The reason it's not true, and I'll let you know, you haven't played like a Monster Hunter, and you haven't played Wild Hearts. I don't think you played Souls either. The games are so fucking hard that it doesn't matter how stacked you are. Well, for a very large degree, the boss fight is very difficult to compute for the first 15 times. So it's really a dopamine rush, just like a honeymoon. It's a honeymoon phase every time a new boss fight comes. It's holy shit, this is exhilarating. You get your ass beat 15 times, you beat the boss, and then you move on to the next one. That is it doesn't matter what your gear is, the boss can still fuck you up in 4 hits.
Yeah, so it's basically
problem. Holograms.
That's the problem for me is gacha games are about paying for progression
Yeah.
and getting an advantage. And the whole idea of gotcha games is because you play them over a long time, you need to be progressing your account, even if you're free to play, with better gear, et cetera, et cetera. And I don't think any game in gotcha is going to take the risk of making the end game too hard for anyone to complete unless you are massively skilled at the game.
I mean, you're a veteran gotcha player, so you have more experience and wisdom on it than I do.
I don't see that happening. Someone can take a risk and try it, and maybe it works. Yeah. But I then think you won't get a big enough audience to maintain the revenue that you need. And that's the one problem with gotcha and a Souls-like game is like, once again, Wuthering Waves, you said you're not doing the hologram bosses yet because it's a damage number. Maybe if you min-maxed a bit more on your rotations and stuff like, maybe you could get there. But you just know you're going to get the power level once you get to, level 40 and you level up your characters 10 more levels.
To be fair, that's true, Volk, but it's like, I'm just severely fucking undergeared and underleveled, though. Like,
I think it's skill issues, but if you want to make excuses for your skill, that's fine. That's cool.
Go fuck yourself, Volk. How about that, buddy, okay? No, I will say, though, brother, the fucking, like, in the Souls game, you reach a certain level of progression to where you are now strong enough mathematically to beat any boss in the game in a certain time period, right? But the thing about a Souls game is there is no time period. There's no time limit on the boss fights. It's only you against that boss, and you fucking kill it. So it's like you actually can take as long as you want in a Souls game to fight a boss. It's just provided you know how to dodge.
Yeah.
So you really don't need to overpower it if you don't want to. In fact, often at times in a Souls game, people start to get mad because you always do have the ability in a Souls game to just outscale the boss because you're just so damn strong. That's also an option in a Souls game as well.
Yeah.
I see it. I could see it working. What I will tell you is it has to be a company that understands it's not going to be the first successful project, nor the second, nor the third. But then the reputation will start to harness itself over time, and people will start going to that game because they know that's the only game or company that's going to offer that experience. Over time, over the next 10 years, you've dropped 3 titles or whatever. Now you have that reputation of, oh, bro, if you want to play a hardcore gacha game, that's the company to deliver it. And that's pretty much what the Souls genre did. I mean, fuck, you don't even play Souls games, and everybody knows what Souls means because they stayed true to that dynamic.
Yeah,
at one point they were niche. They were incredibly niche at one point. Volk, like, they were more niche than gacha. People were like, oh, what the fuck is that? But they just kept refining it. Same thing with Monster Hunter. I'm always going to have that hot take, though. It's me alone with that take. And I believe in it. I believe, like, if you just, because it's disruptive. Nobody else has done it.
So I believe I would love to see someone try, but if I was running a business, that would not be my business decision.
See, and that would be mine because I'm based.
I mean,
but that's you see that funny thing of the personality stuff?
Yeah.
Like, I always do shit nobody else does, bro. So it's like, of course, Gacha Smack thinks that way is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. I mean, if I was making a gacha game, I mean, I'd lose 90% of the audience that plays these games because I'd put PvP in it, and that's that's my problem. So,
I'm
it is
a rebel
what it
by
is.
nature. I realize my channel name should be something akin to rebel by nature because I'm just rebellious. I like doing whatever the fuck everybody else is not doing.
Yeah, you should change your name to your channel name to like that annoying piece of shit or something like that. It would be really fitting.
The guy who likes to disagree.
Yeah.
Change my channel name to I disagree, bro.
The guy that defends shit takes with calling himself based. Yeah, that's cool.
Oh my god, bro! That shit is fucking hilarious, man. Those are my thoughts, though, on like on that whole dynamic.
Yeah,
bro. I actually forgot what we were gonna go into.
What were we talking about? Zenless. Zenless is coming. Wuthering Waves 1.1 is gonna be before it. We don't have to worry about that shit anymore. It's fun watching businesses do business stuff.
Honkai Star Rail.
Let's jump onto it. What's your feelings? Because you watched the whole thing. I was going to rewatch it today because now I'm back, but I haven't watched it yet. So TLDR me. Like, obviously, I know about all the characters and stuff like that.
It was one hell of a fucking update. It was. They're already introducing the brand new simulated universe to fix the godforsaken grind of doing that shit 2 times and was boring as shit. Yeah, they've updated that shit entirely. They've added a lot of new intricacies to it, and they've also added in the shit they already said in the description in that dev note where they're like, now you can just go directly to the bosses and collect your fucking ornaments. Period. Outright. That shit was nice. One of the biggest updates was they also teased. No, that was in the fucking thing. You saw the tease of March 7th.
Yeah.
They teased her, but she's a 4-star, which we'll talk about that in a bit. It's fucking hilarious. The hollow silhouette characters coming out and going back to ZN's show, which I'm not a big fan of. Like, fucking bro, you're going back to ZN's show again? I hope this is like a different area or something, which it is, but still, I don't want to go back to ZN's show. I think the coolest thing. What, you want to say something?
I was just going to say, like, the cool thing about Penacony was it was a different aesthetic to explore. If it's even if it's a different zone, but the same.
Did you ever play Kingdom Hearts?
The same feel, like it's like I want a different feel. You know what I mean with expansions.
Did you ever play Kingdom Hearts?
That was the one with the key, yeah.
Yes. Yeah,
dude. I played that. I want to say I was like 10. I can't remember it that well. It was one of those games that like I remembered playing it because of that, but I don't. It never stuck with me.
The reason I bring it up is because I don't think any game out there, and I don't say this carelessly, did a better job at making you feel so fresh going into a whole new world design. You went to go meet Tarzan. You were in the fucking jungle in a jungle ass. It was literally a world of just Tarzan. And then you would leave Tarzan and then you would go into the world of Aladdin where it's like sands and dunes and shit. And it's like literally completely different world designs and aesthetics. And you were just like, holy fuck, this is magical, bro. And that was really the coolest thing that Kingdom Hearts did the best. And I feel like that was the Penacony experience too. When you went to Penacony from ZN, it was just like, holy, this is entirely different. And I think that's the greatest feedback I can give to the Honkai Star Rail developers. If they go down the Kingdom Hearts path where every world is just completely different, which they did with Genshin Impact, I think they're always going to be doing a fantastic job with new world design updates. But they didn't announce that in 2.3. They didn't, and that's fine. I think what was the biggest...
I was just going to say, to be fair, it's not 3.0 though. That's what we got to remember.
It's not.
It's 2.3. So going back there for an interlude before 3.0, like that's fine. Like it's more when we look at 3.0 is where you're like, okay, I want to change the scenery. So that's where I'm probably being a bit overcritical.
I think that's fine. I will say ZN Show, I just feel like probably was the worst map to go back to because like we went back there a couple times.
Yeah.
I feel like we just came from ZN Show and now we're already going back to ZN Show. However, they can probably impress me with a little bit different like area. At the end of the day, they still are well designing. They're just like kind of separating it from the current ZN Show map. But that was good because they introduced 15 different characters. I was telling you off before you hit record, there's a fucking grandpa, bro. He's like this short with a goddamn Kung Fu Panda hat, like, or a Raiden hat from Mortal Kombat, more so. Yeah. I was like, yo, that's so cool, man. Like, we've never had that in a Hoyoverse game before. So I'm like, I look forward to seeing what that guy's going to do. That was probably the biggest excitement for me, just the introduce, because as we already talked about, the biggest exciting thing about Honkai Star Rail is just new characters.
Yeah, I mean, that's what 90% of the game is,
Yeah, Firefly and Jade, just speaking on her shit, there was a scene where they showed Firefly's gameplay, and the music did not match the intensity of the gameplay at all.
Oh, really?
They were like playing Powerpuff Girls theme song while she was like fucking just wreaking havoc.
What was that? Robin's theme song destroying the game for everyone?
yeah. Dude, imagine Robin's theme song while Sam is just fucking wreaking havoc, bro. I was like, bro, what is this? And if you watch Jujutsu Kaisen, do you...
Yeah, I watched it. Yeah, I watched it. Yeah.
It was when Sukuna fucking wreaked havoc on the city and switched back to old buddy, and they were playing that stupid ass theme song. He was like, "You are my special." It's like, bro, what? Talking about choosing the worst song for that fucking scenario, man. And people are like, but the lyrics. Anyways, there was that. That was funny. And then there's Jade. I think Jade. I know you don't care about the attractiveness of the character. She is fucking ridiculously attractive. But I love the fact that they ulted with her. She steps on this contract, you fall through this hole, and a big fucking massive snake is just waiting to just devour, bro. I was like, yo, this is solid, man. Yeah, no, I think they did a good job.
Because the problem with Jade, because I remember when the Jade first got leaked, and then like everywhere you'd look, it was just like her stomping, and like that was just the meme that I was seeing. Like,
that shit is cringe, by the way. That shit is cringe.
I was seeing that absolutely everywhere, but once you see the full animation, I'm like, that's actually really satisfying and really cool the way they've done that,
man. Yeah.
But yeah,
like, follow up.
Yeah, I think she looks cool. But my plan is to just go all in. I've been saving everything for ages now on Firefly.
We already know.
I mean,
we already know, Volk.
We don't know what the Eidolons are going to be, but I'm going to go for Eidolons. Ideally, I try and get E2 is where I'm going to aim for. I've been absolutely hard fucking shafted in this game since Blade. I have not won a 50-50 or beat a pity yet since Blade. And so I feel like my time is now and I am due. Actually, I did win the 75 on Acheron's Lycone. I did win that.
Yeah.
But I feel
like
like
you've been talking about this mech for a long time. Like, this is your character.
Dude,
this is your fucking character.
Tell me there is a cooler character in the game. Like, just even when you like when you go into alt form, even just idling, looking at the battlefield.
3 transformations.
Looks
3
sick.
transformations.
Yes,
that's crazy.
But I just think, yeah, I mean, Sam is just too cool. There's just no doubt. Like, you just all in, and I mean, implanting fire weakness, being destruction, having cleave.
I forgot about that, bro.
My plan: go all in on, and then you've got like a great free support for the character with Harmony MC as well. Yeah. I mean, I also have Ron May anyway.
Ron May is the rerun too, though.
Yeah, I know that was a kick in the dick.
Bro, what the fuck, man? Like, that banner, did you see, like, even the banner 4 stars are all 4 stars that are like new and like most people probably don't have copies of. I was like, dude, they just loaded, didn't they put Argenti on the next banner? I was crying.
Yeah, and then the next banner has like absolute, what's it got? It's got like Serval. I can't even remember. But yeah, it's like got real mid 4 stars.
It's some other body. Yeah, bro. That Natasha shit, dude, I'm serious. I was laughing so hard. Natasha! Oh my god, it's Natasha. The worst character in the game.
Dude, that
was crazy.
And so like my plan is I've got Acheron with her Lycone. Yeah. Well, that brings me to a whole other thing that we got to talk about, which is the drip marketing for the next new characters. Holy shit, that dude looks mid. Anyway, moving on from that, I got Acheron. I got Silver
I
Wolf.
forgot to upload that to my channel. Fuck me. I just realized I never uploaded that video of me being disappointed of this.
So someone sent me a picture of like him next to an NPC, and it's like they look identical. I'm like, that is hilarious. But so like I've got my Acheron Silver Wolf pellet team, which you know that's like, even if the new dude's a power creep, I'm not pulling for it. So like that's perfectly fine for me. Like that's
he's best in slot for Acheron.
I mean, maybe, but like, even if he is, I don't give a shit. I'm sticking to my Silver Wolf pellet team.
They've been talking about him for a long time. That's true, though. You're right. He sucks balls in the design part.
Yeah. So the thing about Acheron and that whole team is that it is just super reliable, and like it like auto, like even in pure fiction, it gets the job done on auto.
Yeah.
And in Memory of Chaos, gets the job done on auto. If we get
you're using Silver Wolf in pure fiction.
Yeah, I just put that shit on auto because it gives you the stacks. You get more stacks. So that you're not gonna convince me on that one. The whole idea is to Acheron. But you got to remember, I don't have much. I don't have many other things built. Is the thing.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. So you're not selling me on that, bro.
Yeah, dude. It's just like, I mean, if I had what's her face built, I'd use her.
I know who you're talking about, Black Swan.
No, yeah, obviously, yeah, but
Swan,
even no, the fucking fire chick with the dog and the pan. And the fucking,
yeah.
I just never built her
name either. Yeah. That's fair too. I get you.
Gwen Knifin, yeah.
Gwen Knifin.
I always hear her name when it's like Gwen Knifin, and it's like I'm like Hot Dogan, and that's all I can think about with it. So that's how I got to remembering what her name was.
That's hilarious, bro.
But yeah, like, so I got that team, and like Acheron is just easy in every content. And then if I hyper invest into Sam, then Sam is easy in every content. Now I can just auto everything indefinitely and not care. To that.
I fucking knew you were gonna go back. Lazy ass nigga, bro.
Job done. Job done. Easy clap.
I feel it, dude. Whatever allows. The thing is, Volk fucking plays 18 different gacha games. He's all about efficiency. I completely understand. Yeah. But I know for this one, it's not even about efficiency. You want to fucking mech. No, yeah, desperately.
The mech. Like, it's just too cool. But what are your plans?
It's actually icing on the cake that they get that this fucker makes anything he goes up against weak to fire. I think that's just insane. That's a perma side. Permanent.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what they're weak against. You weak against fire now, motherfucker.
Yeah, yeah, it's just done.
That's so cool. Oh, my plans are the same. I'm picking up Sam just because it's too cool of a character, aesthetically wise, mechanically and depth wise, and meta wise. Like the motherfucker checks off every box, and they did that intentionally. They want to break the fucking bank with this one.
Yeah, I reckon this will be high, possibly higher sales. Do you reckon?
I think it'll beat Acheron just because Ron May is also on the banner as well. And many people don't have Ron May. The newer players, they don't have her. And all they've been hearing from my mouth and every meta slave's mouth is Ron May, Ron May, Ron May. And not to mention Sam is break effect, and Ron May's the best break effect support in the game. So it's like, dude, there's no way you're not getting Ron May with that situation. It's just not happening. But that's my plans actually is to get her signature light cone, because on a sweaty level, her signature light cone is the most broken light cone in the game. It allows so many different people who just need 10 more energy to one turn ult. And I love that.
Yeah, I'm personally going to go for E2. Not that I know what her eidolons are, but I'm going to go for E2 before I go for the light cone. Is my play.
I completely hear you. I mean, that's the other thing. I already have E1 Ron May, which is one of the most broken ones in the game, because it just defense shreds everybody. No questions asked, just pop ult, defense shred. So all I'm missing is the Sig, and then she's just stacked, bro. But those are my plans. And then Jade. I'm not missing Jade. I'm a Blade fanatic, and she's literally gonna be best in slot Blade support. Yeah, dude, she gives him a follow-up attack buff. Every time he does a follow-up attack, her shit triggers, and then she pops him up. There's some, she takes away HP. So she gives him a stack when she fucking takes away his HP. It's like a masochist synergy, bro. She's like got a whip, she's slapping Blade. And he's literally going off.
Question. Yeah. Are we entering the triple DPS phase?
I think we are. Dead ass.
Are you going to chuck Jing Liu in with that?
No, look, bro. I didn't say it out loud because I didn't believe it to be true at that point. But when I saw that, I immediately thought you could put another DPS on that team, like Topaz or fucking Jing Liu. Maybe, man. I don't know. That's interesting.
Because like my only thought is with Jing Liu, but you can only put the buff on one character, can't you? Or can you buff multiple?
Oh yeah.
I think it's one at a time. That rips it. Yeah.
Maybe that's a good E6. Maybe that's a good E6 for the whales.
Goes on the whole team.
I don't fucking know.
Goes on the whole
All I know
team.
is I love follow-up shit. Yeah, I think follow-up synergy in this game, as expensive as it is, it's definitely the most expensive fucking archetype. No question.
Oh yeah.
It's also the most like fun. I just love the whole little dynamic, man. But my plan, you know me, Volk. I'm a connoisseur of characters in Honkai Star. I pick them all up, unless they just feel like dog shit, like Argenti.
Oh, man, you don't have it at all. You're not going to go through me.
Hey. Speaking of which, though, the drip marketing. Let's go into that. What the fuck, man?
Okay, the first character, the first chick, I can't remember her name. She looks cool. I thought she was going to be fire because there was fire in the background, but she was physical.
Buster Blade.
Yeah, I mean, like that character I have no issues with, but it's like, it's physical destruction, and I just can't cheat on Svarog. So
same.
Yeah, I'm just.
I got an E3, bro. By the way,
yeah. Mine's E1, which is good enough. Like you don't lose the mark. Happy days. But I think she looks fine. I think she'll just be like a standard character. I mean, depends on power levels and stuff on how hard people go. But the next dude, I just went, nah, not cool. Like I just didn't get the vibe. I know a lot of people may like that dude. I was just like, nah. If this is gonna be like the Acheron meta because he's nihility, I ain't buying it. I'm not too stressed about it.
I feel you because you're free to play. Me personally, I cannot pass up on a. See, that's what I told people plenty of times. Like, there's the aesthetic of the character for me, but then there's just also what they do. And if he does some badass shit, I tell you, he can look like a rock. I'm still gonna pick him up. So if he does some cool stuff, I'm picking him up 100%. But if he just looks like dog shit and he's just completely unnecessary, all he does is power creeps Pella, I'm not picking him up 100%. I'm gonna skip. He'll be another Argenti scenario.
So for me, like I enter like a really cool phase where I'm going all in on Firefly, hopefully get E2 at least. I mean, I've probably got, I want to say 150 summons saved up. I mean, it's copium to think E2, but I mean, I'm going to cope because I've had my bad luck now. And
you got
I'm
pity built up in. Yeah, you got like real pity built up.
yeah. I got
you own 2 copies in a 10 pool.
I got the most powerful pity built up ever, and that's karma. So that's what I'm hoping for. But then, I feel like I'm skipping the next 3 characters, and I've got a safe 3 character skip.
Yeah. And
so I'm personally going to skip Jade
with it.
Then I'm gonna completely skip. What patch are they on? 2.4 was that? Dude, I always get confused when we start getting the drip feeds and we're getting.
Other characters on the live stream.
I'm like, what are we? Are we in 2.3, 2.4, 2.4? Yeah. They're 2.4
was the drip marketing.
So
the 2.3 is Jade.
So I'll have 3 characters to skip to build up my resources. And so what I'm actually doing now is going more hyper invest into characters. I feel like that's actually the play free to play at the moment. If you see a character you think is going to be busted, Acheron, I took the light cone. Firefly, I'm going to go deep in.
That's 5 head. Because at this point, our rosters are built. Why the fuck are we still trying to acquire every character?
Yeah. So
you're right, and then you get the one you really want, and you get to get their signature. You get their fucking Eidolon one if you want to, and then you're loaded.
Yeah, so the big thing that and I used to be like, why would I pull for light cones when like I could get more characters to play with? But like with something like Acheron, where it's a functional change to the stacking and it makes it the character feel better. Well, if you like the character, and then that makes them feel like an even. Like sometimes raw numbers don't make sense. But if you say have something that changes mechanically the character, for instance, imagine if Sam had something where if you broke a character or killed them, like you could get an extra turn. Like, do you know how huge that would be? Like that would be amazing. That would be the kind of thing I would go for because it really mechanically changes the character that I like. So
yeah, I get it.
Stuff like that. So now I'm just looking at skipping and then hyper investing into characters.
Yeah,
that I like.
Dude, you I'll be honest, that was such a good mindset on it. You might have sold me on that shit, bro. What the hell? I don't know why I didn't think about that.
like on a heavier scale, do you think
resources?
Yeah.
Most importantly,
do you think anyone with an E2 imbibitor is like still thinking he's crap or getting power crept? He's still powerful.
Absolutely,
you know
not.
what I mean?
Very powerful with his sparkle, bro. Just fucking popping off for no reason.
So like, characters that have a really good advantage to their high investment and they're already baseline good characters. That's kind of what I'm looking to invest in as free to play now.
No, I think it's great logic, man. Other than that, though, on the 2.3 live stream, I actually can't. They announced a lot, bro. I'm dead ass. They announced a lot, but I can't think of anything else. I'm like, it's left me.
Yeah, I think. What are we getting? I saw someone say that we're getting a bunch of free shit as well. Free pulls. Is that correct?
We're getting our usual 10 pull. The new in-game mode. Holy shit, the 1v1 mode is coming. It's bosses. Right. For Boot Hill, for Dr. Ratio, that mode's it's been announced in the 2.3 live stream. The new mode is coming, and with that new mode, we're getting additional it ain't nothing. We're getting like a couple more primos. It's nothing crazy. It's like between me and your logic. I think
but
it's
isn't it going in the rotation of Pure Fiction and Memory of Chaos?
Yes. They're doing 2 weeks, 2 weeks, 2 weeks. So it'll be 2 weeks the brand new mode, 2 weeks Pure Fiction, or I don't know. You know.
Yeah, every 2 weeks you get a new one, but they carry over for the extra extended time, so you got time to complete them. Okay. And
then the discrepancy in primos is positive, and it's not that much, or not. Stellar J's, my bad.
Yeah, it's a net positive, but not by crazy. Hey, that's cool. Something else to
and the bosses
slap on auto. Yeah.
I was gonna say too though, the bosses are just like our typical bosses you fight. They're gonna be adding some little things in there. It's not. It's kind of like they're using pre-existing IP to just kind of spice things up like they always do.
I'm curious to see how that goes. Like whether it's like literally now like we are in the phase where destruction sort of meta is once again and this was my whole theory was like how I said about being able to use the same 2 teams to clear absolutely everything in Memory of Chaos and Pure Fiction. I 100% expect the Acheron and Sam thing to just transition into the single target and still work, and it's just like pure free investment.
It doesn't need to be the best teams. As long as it still works, that's W's. Because they're only doing just a boss. They're not doing the ads. It's just boss.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, so it's all single target.
Hunt path. Yeah.
Yeah, but like destruction is just so all rounding. I know Acheron's nihility, but she functions as a destruction unit.
She is every path, bro.
They're still the best overworld character. Like, holy shit.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I agree. Now we're at an hour now. Do you want to save the drama for another episode, or do you just want to talk about it?
I mean, up to you. What do you reckon?
I don't really care. I'll be honest with you. I feel like we were on such a good streak of just talking about good gaming that the drama is just kind of like pointless at this point.
Yeah. I do agree. Yeah.
I think we had a great, for the audience, you already know, you have those fucking crybabies like, I wasn't here for drama. Like, bro, shut up. But for the audience sake, I feel like this was just a good dynamic in terms of, just gaming talk and just having a good time.
Yep, sweet. Let's cap it there. That can be this episode.
Yeah.
Then we'll do another
Absolutely.
episode.
By the way, we need to look at what this episode is so we can remember again.
Yeah,
remember what the fuck it is, bro.
like, dude, like, there's no preparation that goes into these. We just get on call and go like, yeah, what do you want to talk about?
It's two brothers, man, just fucking chopping it up and shooting the shit, man.
All right, too easy. Nothing else.
You got
Sick. Anyway, guys, that is going to be it for this one. We say it every time. We will get back to weeklies, maybe. Possibly. Probably not, because Smack's lazy. But hey, it is what it is anyway.
He's always throwing me under the bus, man.
That's it. See you guys.
Yeah, y'all take care, man. Pleasure.